Hi, good afternoon, folks. In this video, we're going to look at 5 of the top one-hit wonders in Buffalo Sabres history, and 4 of them were drafted by us. Coming up. All right, guys, it might be a little extreme to call them one-hit wonders, okay? But I'm going to go with, first I'll give the shout out. Chewy gets a shout out for this one. He asked me for 5 Sabres one-hit wonders video. Now, Chewy, what I've done in this video is I've come up with 4 guys that we drafted that to call them one-hit wonders kind of makes them sound like a bust, but they're guys that showed amazing potential and just never soared after that, you know, or hit their potential later, you know, like this, and then went right back down again. So I got 5 examples, and not all of them hit their potential though on the Sabres, but 4 of them were drafted by us and 1 wasn't. But I think the one that wasn't has to make this list. I just do. So let's go on this, and I'll show you guys 5 clips. We'll make this a simple video, but it should be, for you historical buffs, you should be enjoying this one. This should be a little fun. All right, let's go to, and I put them in order that I thought were, from extreme to the least extreme, but all these guys kind of made me want more, you know? You just wanted more out of their careers. All right, so let's look at number 5. Okay, there you see it. John Tucker, who was one of my favorite Sabres in the 80s, guys. He really was. I really like John Tucker. I just have a lot of good memories of this guy that I thought he was going to be this good, young, fast, 40, 50 goal guy perhaps eventually. Now, to his defense, he was drafted in the 2nd round, 31st overall, as you see. But take a look at the numbers. His first season with us, right after we had the big playoff run in 83, he comes in 21 games with us, 12 goals in 84. Then 85, in 64 games, 22 goals. And then he looked like he's starting to peak out in 86, 31 goals, 34 assists for a solid 65-point season. And from that point on, after that, he just never, it's just so bizarre. You know, he just never, ever hit close to that again. Maybe, I mean, we could take 87, 88 into consideration. It was, 45 games. But then you look, 13 goals, 1, 9, 1, 3, you know. Then on tap, he showed a bit of signs of life again. And his last season in 96, 3 goals in 63 games. I never understood it, what happened to Tucker, because this guy looked like he's going to be a 40-goal guy. You know, he really, really did. He looked like he's going to be a 40-goal guy. I was thinking maybe 50 with this guy once upon a time, and he was one of my favorite Sabres back then. It's one of those careers that you just shake your head and not get it. You know what I mean? But I'm going to show you some real examples here that of other guys that, same kind of thing. I thought that was one of the most frustrating thing about the 80 Sabres, guys, is we drafted some Hall of Famers, like on that team. Just to mention Housley off the top of my head and Andrechuk, of guys that we know are Hall of Famers. And even I can throw out, McGillney's later. No, I'm talking that early 80s squad. I'm going to show you some examples, some frustration. All right, number 4. Let me open it. Here we go. Adam Creighton, our big 6'5" centerman. I remember this guy when we got him. There was so much talk that we got this big centerman that you didn't hear the end of it about Adam Creighton once upon a time. It just looked like Bowman was more and more slapping together a team that was going to be indestructible at the time, at the time. But then look, he comes into the Sabres in 84-85, 30 games, 2 goals. Well, he had 2 goals in 83-84. Then he had 2 goals in 30 games in 84-85, 1 goal in 85-86. So here the guy has played 40 and 56 games and he's got 5 goals. And I was like, what is going on with this draft pick, you know? Then 86-87, he starts to show some promise, 18 goals, 22 assists in 56 games. And then again, 10 goals in 36 games and 7 goals in 24 games as a Sabre. And that was kind of it in Buffalo for him. He goes to Chicago. We move him to Chicago. And he finally shows some of his promise in 89-90, if you look. 34 goals, 36 assists. And then he just regressed after that. You can just see the numbers, you know, like it just... He did do better in Chicago for sure, no doubt. But then he went to Tampa, never really. And when it was all said and done, 708 games, 403 points. Not a bad career, but if you take into consideration, take a look at the top guys. He's drafted number 11th overall. You were just expecting more. You just were. You were expecting more with Adam Creighton. I expected this guy to be a beast when he came in the NHL. And for the record, yeah, we talked about Tucker, right? Yeah, he was second-round pick. But Tucker showed so much promise. Bowman was starting to look like a genius what he was building in Buffalo at the time. At the time. And the truth is, he did slap together a really smart bunch, but he ran out of time, and some of the guys like Adam Creighton never panned out like they should have. It's weird. Sometimes it's weird, the draft guys. Sometimes it looks like, you know, that you're going to get these studs and they just don't pan out, and it makes your management look bad, but in reality, sometimes they pick the right guy. Like, can we honestly say that Sam Reinhart was really a bad pick in that draft years ago? Not really. But obviously, Draisaitl was the guy they should have took. There's no way to know at the time, but when guys don't pan out at all, it's weird. It is. All right, here is number 5, 4, number 3. Here we go. All right, Tyler Myers. Let's take a look at it. All right, 2009, 2010. You see he wins the Calder. 11 goals, 37 assists for 48 points. And you're wondering at this point, wow, what do we got here? You know, a 6'8" defenseman. This guy's like rookie of the year. He's offensive. I mean, everything that you're hoping for. I was hoping he was more of a bigger hitter, which he wasn't. But the thing is, I mean, this guy still looked like a stud, right? Then 2010, 2011, good sophomore season, 37 points, very good, solid sophomore season. Then from this point on, question marks, you know? If you look at the numbers, how they just regressed in Buffalo. It just like, especially 2012, you look, 3 goals, 5 assists, 39 games. And there's no point going on any of the other numbers. I mean, look, in Winnipeg, yeah, it was some okay seasons, you know? But he was on a really good team, too. And even this year in Vancouver, he's like, it's not bad. He's a +8 over there this year. That's one thing. But it's just, I don't know. Tyler Myers is like this thing that a question mark. We did the right thing moving him. Put it that way. We did the right thing moving this guy. You know, getting the Evander Kane deal, that was a smart move. So I'll leave it at that. Tyler Myers is one of those guys that I think his whole career got paid on potential instead of product on the ice. You know, it just feels that way with this guy. Next one, number 2 on the list. Okay, Paul Cyr. Let's take a look at Paul Cyr, who's no longer with us, sadly. He passed away about 10 years ago. But Paul Cyr, in his career, it's another one that the reason Paul Cyr, I guess, really affected me the wrong way. And if you look, not all these guys I would say he's one and done. I mean, take a look, 22 goals, 20 goals, right? But then after that, really, I mean, look at where he's drafted, folks, 9th overall. Everybody was talking about this guy. He's a 50-goal man in Victoria. And Scotty Bowman had went on record saying he's going to be a superstar. And take a look. It just never panned out at the NHL level. It's one of those guys again that showed that potential kind of in 84, 85, 85, 86. And then he regressed the rest of his career. Literally. You know, he just went 11 goals, 1 goal in 20, 4 goals in 40, 12 goals in 70, 0 goals in 17. Career over with 101 goals for a 9th overall pick. Not a bust, but definitely a huge disappointment. Scotty Bowman, like I said, went on record saying this guy was going to be a superstar. And if Scotty's seen something in him, he definitely seen something in him. So I don't know what happens to some of these guys at the NHL level. There's never a clear-cut answer for that. We can always have an opinion, but what goes on in their heads? What's going on off the ice? We don't know, right? I mean, some of these guys their NHL careers just never pan out. It's very weird. My last one I'm going to show here in a second is a perfect example. I had to put him, even though the Sabres didn't draft him. He played for the Sabres, so he makes the list, you know, but I had to put him. But Paul Cyr, for me, was always that one that Scotty Bowman really got my hopes up with this guy. You know, like, I mean, in 82, 83, he played in the 10 playoff games, okay? And he had, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. And I was wondering, what's Bowman seeing in this guy? Because I didn't really notice him that much in those playoff games. Like, Bowman seen something. And then the next year, 16 goals, and then 22, 20, and that was it. It's weird, guys. It's weird. Sometimes the NHL careers can be cruel to guys, too. All right, final one on the list. Here we go. And Jacques Richard, okay, as you can see, he was the number 2 overall pick. Before anything, guys, take a look at the Quebec Rampart numbers. Now, keep in mind the first 2 seasons, he had a guy named Guy Lafleur that he was passing to when he was centerman over there. But take a look, 53 games, 62 goals, 64 assists. Then at his second year in junior, 55 games, 53 goals, 60 assists. Guy Lafleur leaves, okay? He leaves. Excuse me. And take a look at his third year in junior, his final year in junior, 61 games, 71 goals, 89 assists for a staggering 160 points. Comes into the NHL, shows promise in year 2, right? He regresses. Then moves on to Buffalo. And Buffalo try everything to get this guy going, and this is during the French Connection era. 73 games played, 12 goals, 23 assists. By this point, you're saying he's a bust because in the NHL back then, 12 goals isn't really anything, really. It wasn't. You know, you had to be 30 and up to be somebody, basically. And then, okay, so we send him down to Hershey. He goes there. That was our affiliate guys back in the French Connection era. Okay, and then he goes down there. He plays. He does some time. Comes back up, okay? Comes back up, or you know what? He might have actually. I think we sent him down after. My bad. I think we sent him down. Then we sent him down. Look, 21 games, 2 goals, no assists. Like what the heck, you know? Then the next year, forget the AHL numbers anyway. 61 games, 10 goals, 15 assists for a guy number 2 overall who was this big name. Winds up becoming a Quebec Nordique. 14 games, 3 goals. So nothing happening, right? Then take a look at 80-81, guys. 78 games, 50-goal season out of nowhere. And what happens the next year? Right back to nothing again. And he closes out his career, before you know it, with a 9-goal season in 35 games. And that was it. I mean, that is a very extreme example for me. It really is. Like, to look back at, especially Jacques Richard, I had to put him on this list. I just had to, even though we didn't draft him. I figured, you know, if we're going to talk a one-hit wonder in his career, probably him and Adam Creighton really fill that bill more than anything. Paul Cyr never really had a one-hit. He had like a 22-goal season. Tyler Myers is kind of like a one-hit wonder. Kind of, his rookie season. After that, I don't know what happened to Tyler Myers, really. I mean, it's not like he's terrible, but he made these millions of dollars for, I don't know. Just don't get it. And Tucker, after the 30-goal season, I just thought this guy was going to be 40 goals like for the next 5 years. It's how it felt. All right, guys, that's it. I got to get on. I got some videos lined up. Sorry about yesterday. I passed out. That's it. I just fell asleep. I was watching a movie, fell asleep, never woke up, and it was way too late to start videos after. I'm going to get on a roll today. See you in the next one.